biggest one, of course, being the Budget 2024. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman is all set to table the Interim Budget 2024 today. This will be the last budget of Modi government 2.0 ahead of the 2024 Lok Sabha elections. Last week, the traditional pre-budget halwa ceremony was held, initiating a lock-in period for officials involved in budget preparation to maintain confidentiality until the documents tabling in the Lok Sabha today. This is the government's second interim budget presentation as it anticipates a general election in April and May. The incoming government will present the full budget in July.
Recently, we have put across the expectations or aspirations of the growing space industry. As you know, space in India has been privatized very recently. And on the basis of that, what we have asked for is, firstly, the government last year gave GST for launch services and satellite launch services. We requested the government that this should be expanded to other verticals of space. The other initiatives which we have asked the government is tax holidays, especially in space parks, exemption of taxes for import, which would also help the industry to grow, and also take many of the components which are produced for the space sector in PLI.
इस समय हमारे देश के लिए जो सबसे बड़ा टारगेट है वो प्रधानमंत्री ने घोषित किया है कि हमें विकसित भारत बनना है 2047 तक। और विकसित भारत 2047 तक बनने के लिए हमारी जो आर्थिक ग्रोथ रेट है, जो कभी करीब 6-7% चल रही है, उसे हमें 8-9% तक लाना होगा। तो हमारी उम्मीद यही है कि जहां तक गरीबों के कल्याण के लिए स्कीम चल रही है उसका वो अपनी जगह है, लेकिन आर्थिक ग्रोथ को बढ़ाने के लिए कुछ 3-4 कदम सरकार उठा सकती है और हमें पूरी उम्मीद है कि उस दिशा में आगे काम होगा।
Well, it's a Thursday winter morning and of course a big day. CNN News 18's Shireen Elizabeth is joining us live on the broadcast straight from the ground. Shireen, tell us everything about where are you reporting from, what can be expected from today, how's the mood like there on the ground?
Well, it's a chilly winter morning and it has in fact been raining continuously since last night in the national capital, but I'm sure the viewers will be glued to their TVs and their devices to know actually what is there for them in the Budget 2024. Now, this is an interim budget. Right now, I am reporting from outside the Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman's residence, and we have been told that around 7:45 to 8 a.m. is when she is expected to in fact leave for the Finance Ministry. Now, like common people, like middle class, all of them have in fact been anticipating whether there will in fact be a major tax reform when it comes to the old tax regime, new tax regime. Remember, it was last time in the full-fledged budget that was in fact announced, that is when the new tax regime was come in place, and now the people are expecting whether in this interim budget they can expect any major tax exemption. Now, if you see the precedents when it comes to interim budget is usually made when the government tenure is coming to an end, and the full budget will in fact be presented only in July when the new government is elected. So right now what the experts have been suggesting is that there can't be major policy reforms or major tax rate exemptions that can be noticed in this budget. Right now they will be focusing more on where India at the moment start as far as the fiscal deficit is concerned, what is going to be the target for the government in the upcoming months. All these of course will be the target for the government at the moment, but at the same time, if you remember in 2019 when the then Finance Minister Piyush Goyal was in fact presenting the interim budget, there was in fact a major tax reform that has come in place. If you remember, it was around people were exempted, the salaried people up to the mark of 5 lakh were exempted from the tax, and also people who were earning more than around 6,50,000 were in fact exempted if they were taking the provided equities and provident fund. So that was of course a major reform that was made in the interim budget. So people are expecting in this budget they expect some sort of an exemption when it comes to tax. Apart from that, we have seen in the last interim budget in 2019 there was Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samti Yojana that was announced, where a direct income was in fact fact giving to farmers around 6,000 rupees. So all these were announced at that point of time. Now with elections just around the corner, just about 1 month or 2 months left for the announcement of the Lok Sabha elections, it is going to be, of course, a political statement that will be made by the BJP government through this budget. Though there cannot be, according to the Model Code of Conduct or according to the precedents, not major reforms can be announced as an interim budget, but a political statement for sure will be made by this government, and of course we have to see that. So right now, at about 7:45 to 8 a.m. is when the Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman will be leaving towards the Finance Ministry at South Block, after which she will in fact be headed towards Rashtrapati Bhavan. From there at 11 a.m. is when she will be coming to the Parliament and will be presenting the budget.
Right, Shireen. And well, the larger question still remains what's in the Bahi Khata for Aam Aadmi. But Shireen, let's talk about India being the major and the highest growing economy in the world. We are also aiming to become the third largest economy in the world with $5 trillion GDP in the coming few years. On those lines, because we heard Prime Minister Modi giving out a formal speech yesterday before entering the parliament also, he sort of hinted at Nari Shakti being the center stage. Could you walk us through that also and all the highlights that Prime Minister Modi actually spoke about in his yesterday's address?
Well, yesterday we have seen that the day started with President Draupadi Murmu giving the speech where she has in fact doled out how the target of the country, the target is for the government in coming days, and that is something that will be achieved by the government of India. She also in fact highlighted what all have they have in fact achieved as far as since 2014 this government has achieved so far. She also have in fact one major point that she has pointed out, that the number of ITR from 3.5 crore to at this point we are seeing a double increase in people who are in fact filing ITR. It has reached to 8.5 crores. So that is in fact a major achievement when it comes to the government. More people are getting aware how they have to file their taxes. So that is of course an achievement that is seen. Apart from that, after that we have seen how Prime Minister also in fact addressed the media while the session, the budget session was about to begin. He has in fact asked all the opposition leaders to ensure that there is a smooth passage of this budget session, because this is very important. When we talk about interim budget, they actually talk about the expenditure that the present government can intake till the new government comes in place. So this is a very important, crucial interim budget that is going to be presented, and he has asked all the opposition leaders to, unlike last time we have seen the kind of ruckus that has happened, over 146 MPs, opposition MPs were suspended. So a request has in fact been, an appeal has been made by the Prime Minister that it needs to be in fact a smooth conduct of Parliament. Apart from that, Prime Minister has also spoke about Nari Shakti, women empowerment, and the target as far as the government is concerned, the infrastructure, railways, health infrastructure, education, all this is going to be the focus of the government as far as the country is concerned. So all those points were highlighted, and now all eyes are on this interim budget, that what can be expected as far as this budget is concerned, whether there will in fact be health infrastructure, where there will be doling out money, budget for the health infrastructure, specifically when we talk about the new education policy that has come in place in 2020. Since then, the implementation is going on. But budget-wise, the experts have been saying that not much budget has in fact been set aside for implementation of new education policy. So whether there will in fact be more, a budget that will be incorporated as far as the implementation of new education policy is concerned, what is there for the farmers, because last time Piyush Goyal, the then finance minister, when he was presenting the interim budget in 2019, he had in fact come up with this Pradhan Mantri Yojana for farmers, where a direct income of 6,000 was given to them. So all these will in fact be crucially watched by the experts, by the common man. Of course, the common man is waiting whether there will be some sort of an exemption when it comes to tax reform. Like I said earlier, you can't expect major reforms or changes as far as the rates of income tax is concerned, but there could be exemption. It has been done in the earlier interim budget as well. So that is something that will be washed on by the middle class and the common man at this point.
Definitely, Shireen. Something very crucial that you mentioned there is the new education policy. We'll talk about that as well and the other aspects that were not mentioned by Prime Minister Modi but can be there on